Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Humbug Outdoors Fishing. It's your boy C. Smith here. And today, we have got another review video for you guys. This one is on a newer rod that I have not fished very much. I've just found it a couple months ago, and I have been extremely impressed by how well it fishes. And considering the time right now, it's a big time for trout fishermen. A lot of the lakes are stocking. Some of the wild rivers are closed. However, there's still a lot of rivers that are open all year round. Right now is a great time to go catch a trout. And this rod is incredible to do so. That is the BPS, Bass Pro Shops Panfish Elite Series rod. Yes, you guys did hear me right when I said it was a Panfish Elite rod. They market this towards panfish. However, this has been one of the best trout rods that I have owned in my life. I am set on this rod. I absolutely love it. I don't need anything else besides this rod. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory on the rod here. So for a lot of you guys know, I work at Bass Pro Shops in Rockland, California here. You guys welcome to come in and say hi to me whenever you want in the fishing department. I've seen this rod there now for about a year or so, and Have kind of looked at them. I mean, they've always looked really cool. I know I've needed a new crappie, bluegill rod, whatever, but I just really have a need. I had nicer ultralights. Well, I recently been going through a lot of ultralights lately, just breaking them. The cheap ones aren't sensitive. The super expensive ones are sensitive, but break really easy. And I've been kind of just in that zone for a new rod that's got a little bit of both. And I felt these one day. I was restocking them on the shelves. I really liked them. I thought they felt really nice. Bought one, and I loved it so much that it has now become my main trout rod, as well as crappie, bluegill, just all around ultralight. It is now my new favorite rod to pair up with any reel I want. All right, so we're gonna go over some of the specs, the features on why I like this rod, and just a little bit of everything. So let's get it started. All right, so the Bass Pro Shops Panfish Elite spinning rod. The one I have in specific here is the 6-foot 8-inch ultralight fast action. The line weight is 2 to 6 pound. It is a 1/32 to 3/16 ounce lure weight. The guides are 7 plus the tip, so 8 total, and the MSRP is $79.99. So the first big feature that I wanted to go over with you guys about why I like this rod so much is the durability. I've been in the market lately for new trout and panfish rods. I need just a really good ultralight setup. And I've bought some really nice ones over the last year or so. I'm not going to name some of them because I don't want to bash them as a company, because they do make good stuff, but they just break way too easy. A couple of them are really nice rods. I like the sensitivity, but just not even like big stuff, like just putting it in my car, it'll break, or a hook set, it'll break, or just the last 3 or 4 eyelets are so sensitive that they just break way too easy. And I liked this one because I still got some sensitivity out of it, but it's a very durable rod. The blank feels very solid, and so far, I've already trashed it a couple times, and I've had no problems with this setup. And this setup is just as sensitive as those other really nice rods that I had bought previously. So that leads into the second thing I was going to talk about, is the sensitivity on the rod. I'm very picky with my trout setups. Crappie and bluegill, not so much. I'll kind of use whatever. I've gone through a lot of rods throughout the past couple years trying to find the perfect setup for me. And this one right here so far has been the closest thing to a perfect setup that I could have asked for. What I love about this rod is it has the Fuji eyelets. It's got the extended eyelets, which you guys know in previous videos I absolutely love. The rod tip is super sensitive. I love it. For $80, this has got the sensitivity of some of those Phoenix $150 rods. I mean, it's amazing what the sensitivity on this rod is. They do make a couple others. They make like a 7-foot light, a 6-foot light, a 6-foot ultralight. There's a couple other models here, but specifically this one, if you guys were wondering, this is the 6'8" ultralight, and I absolutely love it. All right, so the next thing we are going to talk about here is the diversity in the rod. As you guys have already kind of seen me talk, heard me talk about here, right? I have used this thing for way more than just panfish. It has now become my main trout rod. I've caught big crappies, big red ear sunfish. I've accidentally hooked a couple bass already on it. I would have no problem using this for almost all of my trout applications. Like, I would have no problem hooking a 20-inch fish on this. With good line and good drag, you can easily land this fish. This would be my new rod as well if I wanted to throw power bait out at like Collins Lake or something like that, because it's a super sensitive rod, but it's still got a little bit of backbone, which will set the hook. I really like this rod. I can catch pretty much every fish that requires an ultralight setup or a light rod and reel. You can do with this. You guys see I have this paired up with the reel right now. This is the Shimano Stratic CI4. This is the 1000 size. I have it paired up with 5-pound braid to a 4-pound leader and a little Rapala on there. I was using this at a couple local reservoirs for some trout last week. Amazing. Another good reel actually for this would also be the Daiwa Exceller, which I just did a review on 2 or 3 weeks ago. I will put that in the top screen here for you guys. All in all, that would make the rod 80, the reels around 80. That would be about 160 bucks, and that is a killer setup. Sub 200, that would work amazing for all your trout needs. So something to think about if you guys were looking at pairing up a setup here for Christmas or whenever. You guys are probably seeing this after Christmas too. So yeah, last thing I was gonna get in here a little bit is the price. So $80 can seem like a decent amount, especially for a lot of you guys who fish trout setups and you guys don't really like using expensive stuff. I know a lot of, like when I'm out in the lake and I see guys throwing out power bait or whatever, I see a lot of like cheap $30, $40 rods. And they're nice. I mean, a lot of those rods get the job done. I've got a couple trout rods in my room that are 30, 40 bucks and are awesome rods. But there's definitely an added bit of sensitivity and the extra features they put on this rod that way make it worth it. If you guys are really into trout fishing and you want to get a nice setup, it's 100% worth it because there's way more expensive rods than this. There's some $200 trout rods that I think are in the same ballpark as this. And if anything, I think this one's better because it's not going to break as easy on you. Some of those really light trout rods are like, you can't even breathe near it and those things are breaking. This one is still going to have some good durability to it, which is very, very nice, especially for $80. I will say the only con I have with this right here is this specific one I have, the 6.8 Ultralight. As of now, making this video, they do not make it in a 2-piece. I have it in the 1-piece. It's all right for most of my area because most of the time I'm driving, getting out, and going to fish the reservoir. But I do a lot of backpacking and stuff where I would really enjoy a 2-piece rod just to pack down for ease of use and just walking in. And unfortunately, they don't make it in that. They make the 6-foot in a 2-piece, and I believe they make the 7-foot in a 2-piece. But for some strange reason, they don't make this specific one, the 6.8 Ultralight. I checked online, I checked in the store, and they don't have it. So that kind of stinks, but whatever. It still works. If that's the only con is that they don't make it into 2-piece, that's a pretty good con to have. That is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all the stuff you're supposed to do for a YouTube video. And yeah, if you guys want to see more trout, bass, catfish setups, a little bit of everything, I'd be more than happy to make some for you guys. Like I said before in some other videos, I am not sponsored at this point in time by any company. So these are all just products that I like, I use, I catch fish, and I endorse myself. I love these products. I stand by these products. So yeah, take that into consideration. This is not a biased review. There is no sponsors. This is just, there's certain companies that are doing it right on certain products, and I thought I'd share with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time on Humbug Outdoors Fishing.